Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, I have a very special announcement and offer. This is my new novel, East of Everywhere, which releases everywhere on Thursday, November 11th, 2021. So that's this Thursday. And as a very special offer, if you pre-order the novel between now and its release date on Thursday, then you will get a coupon code for $5 off any service or product in my online store, www.susandonspiritual.com, $15 and up. All you have to do is pre-order the novel in hardcover, paperback, or ebook and send me a screenshot, and I will send you a coupon code for $5 off any service or product at susandonspiritual.com, $15 and up. So it is a very limited time offer, so make sure that you get it in. You can save your bookings for later if you'd like, or save the coupon code for later if you'd like. But this is a very special offer. And just as a hint, if you'd like the ebook, it is only $3.99. So $5 off coupon for any of my services or products for the cost of a $3.99 ebook. Thank you guys so much. That is really helping to support me and the launch of my latest novel, which I'm very excited about. And now, let's get to it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a very special update where I'm going to be doing separate readings for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and their journey to union. I got called to do this sometime, I think, over the weekend. It's kind of a deep dive into the journey thus far for both the masculine and the feminine. Now, you can take it as your inner masculine and inner feminine energies, or you can take it for counterparts, or both. Take it as it resonates for you, because, again, we all hold both energies within. We are healing and unifying both energies within. That is what inner union is all about. And that is how outer union with a sacred partner or a counterpart is reached. But it is all about, first and foremost, about your inner union. It is the sacred union path to ascension. You're just doing the ascension journey with another partner, with another person. So let's get into it. I have a kind of a set spread here. So let's see. We're going to be looking at the journey overall for both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Today is the Divine Masculine journey. We're going to be looking at the overall energy, the past energies, the consciousness shift. We're going to be looking at the current energies. We're looking at the feelings and thoughts about the journey, feelings and thoughts about the connection if you're in sacred partnership, feelings and thoughts about the counterpart, the masculine to the feminine to the masculine. We're going to be looking at where are they heading or what's to come, challenges, healing, and we'll just see what else comes out. So we're going to have that in mind. As you know, I just kind of wing it and see where spirit leads us. So let's see where spirit leads us. But let's start with the overall journey for the Divine Masculine. How has the overall journey been for the Divine Masculine? Or what is the overall theme of the journey of ascension thus far for the Divine Masculine, please, Spirit? What has this journey been like? The overall theme for the Divine Masculine. Oh. Stepping into power and gates of triumph. You are strong beyond measure. Success expands in your life. These energies here both feel like masculine energy. Stepping into power has really been what it's been about for the Divine Masculine. Actually, it's been about both is what I'm hearing. And there you have the feminine at the bottom here, wise leader and stepping into power. This is a unifying energy. This is that union energy. Stepping into power and wise leader, this is who you are both becoming. This is that self-empowerment energy. And when you balance out your masculine and your feminine energies within in its divine essence, without the distortions, without the traumas and triggers and pain patterns replaying itself, then you realize that you are in your divine essence. You're in your leadership, you're in your authenticity, you're in your sovereignty. You are in your place of self-empowerment. So I love how we have the feminine energy at the bottom of the deck. But we're talking about the masculine energy today, and that's what this really is. Stepping into power really is about they're recognizing that within themselves. I feel like this is almost like the gate of their heart had been closed thus far. They weren't able, you see how it's almost like a cavern? It's like a cave here. And through those doors, there's this meadow and a path to sunrise or happiness. And it's that sun card energy, happiness, fulfillment. They're showing me the 10 of Cups. So it's everything. It's wish fulfillment. It's happiness. It's this energy of reward. And I'm hearing the word life. A life that they weren't allowing themselves to live before. So these divine masculines in the past had really suppressed themselves. They had really guarded their heart because of societal conditioning, traumas, pains, upbringings, experiences, whatever it was, their heart had really been guarded. And previous readings, they're bringing me back to previous readings. Remember, all of my readings on this channel are timeless, so make sure that you are allowing yourself to go back through the playlist and taking whatever resonates for you. But we had gotten images of like a heart encased in ice. Just not wanting to be cold. It's full of life and flowing and beating within. But on the outside, how it portrays itself on the outside was just very stoic, very cold, very shut down, very guarded. Because of their past or their upbringing, or because they needed to repress their emotions, which they were actually repressing their feminine energy within them. And so what has happened to them on their journey as they are recognizing themselves, really beginning to understand themselves, that's this hermit energy here. You see that he kind of looks like the hermit there? Really allowing themselves to go within, to get to know themselves, understand themselves, to acknowledge themselves, honor themselves, and even, especially, most importantly, to love themselves in a way that they had not perhaps been loved by others, or allowed themselves to be loved by others, or that they had not loved themselves previously. So that heart on this journey that was encased in ice, that ice began to melt. And it became just a flood of emotion, a flood of outpouring of love that they had never allowed themselves to experience before because they had shut that part of themselves down. They're bringing me back to the masculine's inner child. And it was almost like they had wanted to show their heart on their sleeves and show their love and express their love. But especially in childhood, they experienced traumas or pain or conditioning or something that suppressed them and repressed those emotions, that made them shut that aspect of themselves down, that made them shut the feminine aspect of themselves down, the feminine aspect which is nurturing and compassionate and giving and openly loving and openly expressive. They had shut that part of themselves down. And so that became the distortion. That became the distorted masculine energy because they thought, oh, well, I can't cry, I can't express myself, I can't show my emotions, I can't express the depth of love that I contain within my heart. But now through this healing journey, they've begun to tap into that feminine energy within them. And as they tap into that feminine energy within them, the masculine energy within them rises and heals the distortions. So they say, oh, okay, I can make decisions for myself. I can take the lead. I can be healthy. I can give to others, and I can be receiving of others. I can be in this place of balancing my logical, practical mind with the emotions that I'm feeling. I can take authority for myself. I don't have to live by others' expectations. I don't have to live by duty. I don't have to live by just giving of myself to others and by sacrificing myself, but I can be in balance of both giving and receiving. Not taking. Taking is the distorted masculine, but being able to receive, which is the feminine energy within them. So there's this beautiful merge energy that's coming through here as they step into their power, as they step into their energy. And so the divine masculine or the conscious masculine energy is one that is balanced within both the feminine and masculine energies within them. They're not controlling, they're not resistant, they're not taking, they're not corrupting their power, but they are using all of that to balance the energies within themselves, and that reflects in how they treat the world around them. They're also releasing surrendering. I'm hearing there's an energy of surrender, releasing the energy of control, because control is that toxic masculine energy, is that distorted masculine energy of power. This is how I assert my power, through control. The conscious or divine masculine recognizes that you're only in control of yourself, and that's where your authority and that's where your leadership is. That's where your power is. So there might have been others who were controlling them, again, through expectations or duty or trauma or triggering or projections or, making them hide themselves away or suppress themselves. But they're calling that power back to themselves. And they're recognizing that when you call that power back to you, you're not taking control of other people, you're only in control of yourself. And allowing yourself to be in control of yourself. And that's your reactions. That's how you handle situations. That's how you express yourself. That's how you own yourself or take accountability for yourself. That's how you know yourself. And so this journey for these divine masculines have really been about taking ownership for themselves. And when I say taking ownership, it's not just for their actions. It's taking ownership of the energy within them. Recognizing, acknowledging, and calling back all of that power within them. Recognizing themselves as worthy. Recognizing themselves as having value. Recognizing themselves in balance with both energies, their emotions, but also their core masculine energy of their logic mindset, their practicality, their rationality. A beautiful, beautiful balance here. And as they do that, it's like the gates of themselves, the gates of their soul, of their heart just opens. This is the path that they have been walking. They are now walking towards that sun energy, that happiness, that fulfillment, because they're recognizing, yes, I am worthy of this, and I claim this now. I claim my power, not in a grasping energy, not in a taking energy, but in a surrender energy. And I am in control of myself. I am a leader for myself. And through being a leader for myself and taking authority for myself, I can then be a conscious, stable, and grounded leader for others. That's masculine energy as well. Stable, present, conscious, secure. Providing that protection energy that we were channeling in the last Sacred Union energy update. I'll put a link to that in the description box. Extremely powerful. Don't miss it. That is this energy here. They are stepping into their power. They are claiming themselves. And again, it's not a power of control. That's the distorted masculine energy. This is recognizing their strength, recognizing their courage, recognizing their worth and their value. And that is bringing a sense of, it's more than satisfaction. It is a sense of joy, which they had not allowed themselves fully before. So beautiful energy for the journey for the divine masculine. This has been a very difficult journey for the divine masculine. It has not been easy, especially when we are in a patriarchal society that has been programmed to control, to take, to have that kind of privilege, to disempower, to repress and suppress your emotional body. They are learning how to overcome that programming, to recognize it as program, to overcome that programming, and to step into this beautiful balance of the merged masculine and feminine energy. And as they step into that energy, they are honoring the feminine. They're honoring the feminine energy, cherishing the feminine energy, respecting it, and recognizing it as a vital life force energy. That the emotional body is just as important as the logical and rational mindset. That the heart and the soul speaks louder than the ego. And connection to source, connecting to themselves, is the path of the heart, is what I'm hearing. It's a path of the heart. It's the path of ascension. So they're recognizing this shift in consciousness. I want to dive deeper into that. Let's get deeper into their journey with the shift in consciousness. So how are they shifting in consciousness? How is the divine masculine shifting in consciousness? How is the divine masculine shifting in consciousness? Oh, we're going to take both. I'm sorry. Defenselessness. Righting past wrongs, uprooting, and a new earth is happening. Keep holding the vision. So they're walking away from their past. They're walking away from, and this feels very collective. This feels like, oh yeah, this feels like surrender. Fall into my arms, holding the opposites, extremes of life. This is that merging of the two polarities, the feminine and the masculine energies. And they're recognizing that the pendulum had been swinging too far in one direction as a collective. This is collective energy. We're going to narrow it down a little bit to the masculine individual, but as a collective, the pendulum had been swinging too far in one direction. That's the patriarchy. And so over the past 100 years or so, that pendulum that had been fixed in one spot here on one side has broken loose. And what we're actually seeing now is when a pendulum breaks loose from one side, it goes to the other way, swings in the other direction before it balances out in the middle. That middle is the point of neutrality. That middle is the 0 point. That middle is the merge, the place where the energies are merged and unified. And so what's happening is the divine masculine collective as a whole, for those who have been on the ascension journey and for those who are just awakening, what's happening globally, and I did not expect to be going global here, what's happening globally is there's this recognition of the feminine energy, the honoring of the feminine energy. And with this righting past wrongs is this energy of taking accountability where we're recognizing there was distortions, previous distortions, recognizing where we were repressing feminine energy. And this plays out in a number of different ways. It plays out in, you can see this in everyday life where, people are too much or not enough, especially when it comes to females. Now, masculine and feminine is an energy, so we're not talking gender here. But for the sake of example, I'm going to share I'm going to point to females because females have been very physically, as a physical example, in their physical experience, very repressed. You can see that in workplace inequality, in the pay gap. You can see that in even classes. When it status and wealth, when it comes to caretaking, you can see that there was this unequal measure. And I feel like the masculine energy, bringing it back to the individual, I feel like the masculine energy is healing as they heal themselves in their own individual consciousness, for lack of a better word. What's happening is they're helping to heal the global masculine energy. And so that's the collective energy that we're all transmuting. We're all transmuting, especially on this ascension journey, we're all transmuting collectively. Feminines are doing it a little bit of a different way, but the divine masculines are really helping to transmute for the greater global collective as they are going through their own individual ascension. Because what's happening here is they're looking, bringing it back to the individual, they're looking at their past and they're saying, I can see where I didn't treat myself right. I can see where I didn't treat my divine feminine right, or other relationship partners or family right. I can see where I was trying to control. I was trying to suppress because I was being repressed. I was projecting my pain. This is them, or I was taking action out of a place of recklessness rather than a place of stability and groundedness. This is really recognition of themselves. And we've been channeling for a while here that to know yourself is to go deeper and deeper into ascension. To know yourself, as you go deeper within yourself, the more you connect to yourself and to God's source, and that is ascension. That is the shift in consciousness, and they're going through this right now. And so what's happening is they are having these tower moments, these dark nights of the soul, because they're really facing themselves. Like we channeled previously, they're really going deep into the underworld of themselves, the shadow world of themselves, really facing their fears and their projections and their pain and their experiences and their trauma and even past lifetimes that is coming up to the surface to be cleared, healed, transmuted. So this is actually helping them to ground themselves. This is actually helping them to shift in consciousness and shift into higher consciousness and shift into the conscious masculine or the divine masculine energy. It's happening. They are creating new earth as well. You are manifesting this together with your divine feminine. But they're needing to surrender to both energies. It's almost like what I'm feeling is this new earth energy is the feminine energy, and this is the masculine energy. And the masculine energy is a little bit on their knees right now because they're going through this massive consciousness shift. But this massive consciousness shift is helping to birth the new earth energy, the new consciousness into the physical world, because the divine masculine energy is very physical. The feminine energy works within the higher planes. She's very connected to the higher chakras, the higher 3 chakras. The divine masculine is very connected to the lower 3 chakras, and then you meet on the bridge of the heart. We channeled that 3 years ago. The bridge is where you meet. The bridge of the heart chakra is where you merge those energies. That's where that unity energy really comes from. And so, or that Trinity energy really comes from, I should say. And so the lower 3 chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra are very grounded in the physical experience, in the physical plane. That's the masculine energy. They're very grounded. They're very physical. And so a lot of them might actually be experiencing a lot of physical upheaval in their physical worlds because of this. Because, again, as you shift in energy and shift in consciousness, the old has to clear, especially old karma, old relationships that no longer are aligned to their new way of being or the new version that they're shifting into. So they're very physical. The divine feminine energy, or the feminine energy, is very connected to the higher 3 chakras, the crown, the brow, and the throat chakra. Self-expression, intuition, and connection to source. And so she has the visions, she has the understanding, she has the clarity, she has the connection. The masculine energy is what really anchors that into the physical and bursts that into a physical, tangible life experience. When you're thinking about manifestations, you have the vision, that's the feminine energy, but your action in order to manifest that, because you have to take action, you have to take steps yourself, following your intuition, the action is the masculine. The divine guidance is the feminine. Receiving that divine guidance is the feminine energy. The action that you take from that divine guidance to birth that into the physical is the masculine energy, and that is what is happening here for the masculine. This feels like they are really bridging the feminine and the masculine energies within themselves to create a whole new life for themselves. So they're shifting in consciousness. Their feminine energy is really emerging, and they're really beginning to embrace and embody that. They still have that core essence of the divine masculine. You're still, take it as it resonates for you. You could be a feminine watching this and relating to this. This is your own inner masculine. But if we're talking about the divine masculine embodied, you have one core essence. I want to say one really embodied essence, although you have both within you. One that really feels natural to you, one that really feels at home. But when you're balanced within, it's like, okay, now I know how to act within my masculine energy and receive within my feminine energy. So the masculine is really undergoing that process of merging, of the inner union, where they are recognizing this. And as they recognize this, they are physically helping to clear and birth this new earth. For some, this is going to even trickle down into their relationship. They're helping to birth a new relationship with their sacred partner. And it's because I feel like they are down on their knees and surrendering. So there's a lot that was just to unpack right there. We talked about the global collective. We talked about divine partnership. Just to bring it back to divine partnership. So you're both birthing this new earth. You're birthing this new frequency, this new plane of existence from your higher states of consciousness, because you are balancing out in releasing the distortions and balancing out in the divine conscious aspects, the masculine and the feminine energies within you. So you're birthing this new earth. You're birthing this new plane of existence for earth, for the collective. But when you're looking at your own relationship, you're doing this as well, because the more conscious you become, the more you heal, the more you clear and transmute your own energies that need to be cleared and transmuted. The more you ground yourself, the more present you are, the more conscious you are, the more you're able to clear your past trauma, pains, experiences, the more you are birthing a new relationship of harmony, love, peace, all that higher dimensional energy that we're birthing for the collective. You're birthing that in the container of your relationship with your counterpart. Remember, the macro and the micro. The micro affects the macro affects the micro. It's all connected here. So it has a ripple effect. Your relationship with your counterpart, let me start over. Your relationship with yourself and with God's source is the ultimate relationship and the ultimate connection. And the more you heal that within yourself, the more you're able to have that relationship with a sacred partner, with another person. And the more you have that relationship with a sacred partner, another person, the more you embody all those energies of love and joy and harmony through the healing within yourself that you've done, through the shift in consciousness you've done, that has a ripple effect in shifting the consciousness of the entire world to those higher vibrations. Divine Masculine is playing a crucial role right now. Okay. This is not where I expected it to go, but again, I just go where Spirit wants to guide me. So, let's get some tarot here. What was I going to use? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the Cosmic Prisms and Cosmic Vision decks for the masculine and the feminine readings here. So this is going to be the masculine. Okay. So let's look at how the Divine Masculine currently... You know what? I'm going to pause here. I'm going to get this. We're going to use the Star Temple Oracle. I want to look at how the Divine Masculine is viewing the connection with the Feminine. How is he viewing overall the connection with the Divine Feminine? This is the feminine energy within him or the counterpart connection. How is the Divine Masculine viewing the feminine on this journey? How has he viewed the feminine on this journey? Let's get some past energy here too. Let's do past, current, and near future. Yeah, let's do that. How did the Divine Masculine view the feminine energy in the past? How did the Divine Masculine view the feminine energy in the past? We have Shame and Lovers, the fallen star and beloved Zeus. I no longer hide my face. I step into my light with love. The cosmic union is destined for greatness. So in the past, especially for those who are sacred partners, embodied, like in a relationship, in a physical connection. This could also relate to the inner feminine, so I'm not going to go deep into separating that, but they felt this sense of shame because their own feminine energy had been so repressed and suppressed that it was almost like the way that they experienced relationships with feminine energy was very, very toxic. This especially can come from past partners. This can especially come from childhood and mother figures. But it was very toxic, the way that they had viewed feminine energies. And so when they met their counterpart or their own feminine energy within, it was almost like it was too toxic for them to face. They recognize divine feminine energy as pure love. They recognize that as unconditional love, pure compassion, pure nurturing, pure... I don't want to say giving, but because that feels self-sacrificial, and I don't mean that. But this very nurturing, compassionate energy. They understand that. But because of their past, they weren't able to be accepting of that. Because of whatever feminine energy they had experienced in their past, it made them suppress their own feminine energy within, so they couldn't see the feminine energy without. They couldn't see their divine counterpart for who she was. And there's a deep sense of shame. So if the masculine had treated the feminine, their feminine counterpart, poorly, with disrespect, by running away, by ghosting, by not communicating, not expressing that love. It doesn't mean that they didn't feel it. They always felt it. They always felt that connection to the feminine energy. They always felt that love. They always felt that yearning for that union, that yearning for the merging, that union for that, or that yearning for that coming together, the connection, the union energy with the feminine. They always felt that with their counterpart. But they felt such shame, and they felt such guilt, and even bits of that toxic energy that they projected onto the feminine. And they didn't mean to project it onto the feminine. That's where the shame and the guilt's coming in. They didn't mean to, but it was their own pain and their own traumas and their own past experiences with toxic feminine energy, distorted feminine energy that was coming to the surface. Again, the masculine had really suppressed the feminine energy within them. And so when they met their counterpart, it was almost like they had such love, but they weren't able to express that because they still had so much wounding around the feminine energy as a whole. And so I feel like throughout this journey, they have really begun to understand that, oh, this connection, the love that I'm feeling from this feminine energy is not what I experienced in the past, and I don't have to perpetuate the past in order to experience this union with my counterpart. But that's the transmutation that they had to go through. That's the self-awareness and the awakening that they had to experience. And so there's a little bit of shame around this and guilt because they're recognizing the projections. Okay. How are they feeling about the feminine energy in this journey, in the current energy? And what I like about this is I no longer hide my face. I step into my light with love. It's almost like what I'm hearing is that this is that transmutation. This is where they've been on this journey. They're saying, I might have been triggered by feminine energy in the past. I might have shied away from feminine energy in the past because of my past pain, because of my past experiences, again, with toxic relationships, toxic feminine energy, toxic mother figures, whatever it was. But now I'm not going to be afraid of that any longer. That's where the journey has taken them, or is taking them, wanting that union with the divine feminine energy, with the energy of unconditional love, that pure love. They're recognizing that now because they're taking ownership and stepping back into their own power, recognizing the feminine within themselves, not distorting that, not suppressing that, not repressing that. So they are really stepping into their own feminine energy, which is helping them to heal the past and step into the future with their divine feminine counterpart. The Empress of the Night. After the storm, I emerge a shiny new star. I love this. This is that Empress energy, which is divine feminine energy. And it's like they're recognizing you, divine feminine, as their feminine counterpart. And it's like they had to go through. This feels like the process that they are currently undergoing or may have recently been undergoing. This is that dark night of the soul, the storms, the tower moments that they've been experiencing. But after that, this is what they're realizing. And I feel like they're coming out of this past energy. And really, that's the process of ascension that they've been going through, the massive shift in consciousness that we've been channeling for the divine masculines. This is them emerging from that because they're stepping into their divine masculine energy and into that inner union where they're balancing out those energies within themselves. They are recognizing you as the Empress. They're recognizing you not as the toxic energy of their past relationships or past connections, but they are recognizing you as that pure divine love. They're recognizing you as the Empress here. They're recognizing your power. I'm getting this high priestess energy here. They're recognizing your power. They're recognizing your mysticism. They're recognizing your divinity. They're recognizing your abilities. They're recognizing the source energy within you, which is really beautiful. They're recognizing the source energy within you because they are finally recognizing the source energy within themselves. I'm going to take a pause here and really encourage you guys to check out the Divine Feminine reading that we'll be doing as well. Take these readings in tandem because there are going to be a lot of messages for both of you. Because again, you have both energies within you. So we don't want to just look at your counterpart. We don't want to just look at the masculine. Look inside of yourself as well. But this is really beautiful. This really feels like recognition of themselves and recognition of the connection and their divine feminine counterpart. Really beautiful energies. Where is this going? How are they viewing their feminine and the connection on this ascension journey in the near future? Intention, the storyteller. Interesting, I saw that at the bottom of the deck earlier. I am the narrator of my life. Again, stepping into my power, claiming themselves as the storyteller of their own life, that they hold the pen, that they have the strength and the courage and the consciousness to write their own story, where they have been giving their power away to others because of duty or expectations or because of societal programming. This is them recognizing, I get to create too. I get to create and dictate my own life. I get to choose what I want for myself. This is my authority. This is my leadership. This is my power. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Let's get into some current energies here. How are they currently feeling on this ascension journey? How's the Divine Masculine currently feeling on this ascension journey? One more card, please. How are they currently feeling on this ascension journey? It's too many, but I did see the Hierophant there. Going through a massive consciousness shift, a massive ascension, which we've been channeling. And the Queen of Wands. This is really beautiful. This Temperance card is that balance of the masculine and feminine energies within that we're channeling in the beginning there. And as they merge and balance and come into that inner union of the inner masculine and feminine energies, guess what? The Two of Cups here. They have that to offer to another. And that's what we talk about on this Sacred Union Path to Ascension. It is about you first and foremost, not about your counterpart. And especially for those who might be experiencing some detachment or separation, especially in the physical, from your counterpart after feeling like everything was coming together, that upheaval, that tower moment that we've been channeling, what that is you are going on your individual paths in order to later converge in a much more healthy, stable foundation than you had before. Because before, your connection had been about the other person. The connection had been about your partner. Even your healing journey had been about your partner. But now you've entered into a new cycle. You've entered into a new phase of your journey where your journey is about the higher heart ascension. It's not about the healing so much. It's about higher heart ascension. We'll be talking about that later, or in another reading on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. So make sure you're subscribed to that channel as well, my sister channel. It's about the unity consciousness. It's about the soul merge. It's about the sacred union in and of itself within. It's about your own self-empowerment. And so you might have had to go on your separate paths from your divine counterpart because there was still some healing that you needed to do individually. You needed to step back into your power without focusing on your counterpart. And that's when you converge. It is first and foremost about you. And that's why we call it the Sacred Union Path to Ascension, because you are going through ascension process yourself. It's not about the other person. You're going through the ascension process yourself. You are on your own path. And what's beautiful about that is when you're on your own path, then you are focused on yourself, you're focused on your mission, you're focused on your joy, you're focused on your manifestation, you're focused on your life. And what happens is your partner then comes up right beside you. Now, for these sacred partners, a lot of you had been experiencing this with each other. So you were experiencing this together, whether energetically or in physical proximity, you were experiencing this journey together. so that you could show each other the mirror, so that you could reflect back to each other what needed to be healed, what needed to be cleared, what needed to be transmuted. You were reflecting back to each other all the trauma, the triggers, the projections, the pain patterns from the undercurrent of love. The underlying energy of love was always, always there. And tap into your heart space, tap into your intuition to really reflect on your connection. If you think about the energies underneath the surface, you know that whatever it was that you were experiencing in the physical, the love was always there. Doesn't discount the physical. You don't ignore the physical and what you're experiencing, but you see, or you say, what is it showing me about myself? What do I need to learn? For Divine Feminines, it was healthy boundaries. It was not holding yourself back for another person or even yourself. It was not being afraid of confrontation. It was not being afraid of fully expressing yourself and embodying your sacred self. Not being afraid to be your full authentic self. For Divine Masculines, it was not being in this corrupt energy of control. Not being in this corrupt energy of claiming power from the energy of corruption. Claiming power in a sense of greed, distortion. It was learning how to listen to the heart, learning how to listen to the intuition rather than the ego. So both counterparts have been experiencing this ascension journey in different ways, but you experience this as counterparts together. You're on the sacred union journey together in order to ascend. You're helping each other to ascend. In that essence, you're ascension partners. You're helping each other to grow. You're helping each other to evolve and to expand. And you might experience that, you will experience that in your life, and have experienced that in your life with other people, soulmates, even karmic relationships. Karmic relationships are not necessarily negative. They are there to show you something about yourself as well, and they can contain a lot of love as well, but it only lasts for a certain period of time before you move on because the lesson has been learned. The karma has been experienced and learned. The contract is fulfilled. Soulmates are those who are with you in a very compatible energy, a very peaceful energy, who help you in a number of different ways. Friends, family, coworkers, business partners, even strangers can be soulmate energies. Like, they could be there for a lifetime. They could be there for just a season, but they're a very different energy. Sacred partners are your divine reflection. Now, everybody is an aspect of ourselves. Everybody can serve as the mirror, and you might experience that in your life journey as well. Oh, this person's showing me this about myself. Oh, that person is showing me that about myself. Not just this is how I'm acting, but this is how I don't want to act, or this is who I don't want to be. Showing you through contrast as well as through, similarities. So that's the mirror. But when you're with your sacred partner, it's a divine mirror. And they almost force you, I don't like to use that word, but they almost force you to really dive deep. They challenge you, thank you, Spirit. They challenge you to really dive deep into the shadow aspects of yourself. They pull up the soul sludge. So it is, they bring out the abandonment wound, the rejection wound, the neglect wound, the mother-father wounds, the core wounds of not feeling valued, not feeling worthy. Whatever it is that your core wounds contain, they reach down, your counterpart reaches down through triggering you, not meaning to, it is not intentional. But again, they're your mirror, they're your divine partner, they're your sacred partner through love. It's not intentional, it is never intentionally cruel. But they dive deep and they reach down into you and they bring up that soul sludge. They bring it up to the surface to be cleared. So that now, oh, it's in my awareness. This is how I'm reacting, or this is how I'm acting, or this is the pain pattern that I have been repeating for all of my lifetime. And with that awareness, you can then clear it. That's what sacred partners are all about. And the more you clear it, then you come together in more love and more harmony, because the triggers and the pain patterns aren't coming up between you guys. It's not that baggage that's between you guys. The more you clear, the more you come into that union that is harmonious, that is loving, that is joyful, that is peace-filled. And that's what this energy is, especially with the Queen of Wands here. This Queen of Wands is just fiery energy, just ready to take action, just ready to go forward with their life. So this temperance energy is the union energy. And now that they're going through that inner union, filling themselves up on love and forgiveness and grace, they have that love to offer to their sacred partner. They weren't able to do that in the past because, again, they didn't have that within themselves. No, they always had that within themselves. They didn't recognize that within themselves. Again, it was so suppressed. But now that it is coming to the surface to be cleared, all the pain patterns, all the traumas and the triggers, all the distorted energy, that toxic energy, they're having shifting viewpoints. They're having shifts in consciousness and mindset and beliefs, recognizing that beliefs are just illusions, that they are false beliefs. What is true for me now in this version of myself, this higher version of myself? What is true for me now? That might have been true for me then, but what's true for me now? Now that I have this higher level of consciousness, now that I have this clarity and this higher level of understanding, what's true for me now is love. And now I'm ready to take the reins for my life. I'm ready to take action for myself because my feminine energy is on fire. My feminine energy is burning within me, and I'm not letting that flame die out anymore. Beautiful energy. All right. How are they feeling about the connection at this time? How are they feeling about the connection? 9 of Swords. They're still purging a little bit of anxiety. Still purging a little bit of fear. Heartbreak as well is what I'm hearing and seeing. One more. How are they feeling about the connection overall? I feel like, I don't mean to laugh, but I am. I feel like this is almost like you, Divine Feminine. If you're the Divine Feminine watching this, and this is some of their fears. They're still a little bit afraid that you might kind of come in there and just be baring your teeth. I feel so bad for these poor Divine Masculines. They might be afraid. Okay. They know that you are just love and pure love, but you are fierce, Divine Feminine. You might be sassy, you are powerful, you are not afraid to express yourself and communicate yourself. You are not afraid. You are just empowered, They might be a little bit afraid of that. Now, they were intimidated by this before because they weren't recognizing that empowerment within themselves. So they saw you standing in your light. They saw you shining so brightly. They saw you just not taking any bullshit. And they were like, wow, like that's Divine Feminine energy. But their feminine energy was so suppressed within themselves that it was like they couldn't match you. They couldn't match your energy. And so now what's happening is because their own feminine energy is rising, because they're coming into balance with both of their inner masculine and feminine energies, because they're stepping into their power, their higher consciousness, they're gaining that confidence. But they might still be a little bit nervous. It's anxiety and it's nervousness about, I'm hearing because of how you might receive them. They're not sure how you'll receive them. They're still they're not unsure of this connection. They're very sure of this connection. They're very stable within this connection, but it's still unfolding. The connection itself is still unfolding. There's still some fears around this connection because they had not experienced this before in the past. They had not experienced this template of relationships, this higher level of sacredness within a connection. And so there's still some fear and anxiety. And it's almost like, is this feminine just going to swallow me whole if I give my whole heart and spit me out? Now, they're overcoming those fears. I feel like they know, as they listen more and more to their heart space, they know what this connection actually is. They know who you are, Divine Feminine. They know that, this is a sacred love, and they want to match that. They want to be equal to that. They want to be very stable, very reliable, very dependable, very present with you. But I feel like they're just still gaining that confidence. They're still in this place of unknown, is what I'm getting, unknown territory. So they're gaining that confidence with themselves with the King of Pentacles here. But there's still some fears that are being released around love. Still some fears being released around connections, and I'm hearing it's because of past relationships and past connections that they had, especially with feminine energy, that had created trauma, that had created pain patterns for them, that had created false beliefs. So this energy is really interesting here. It's like they're gaining that confidence. You see how he's like just fiercely facing that, whatever that is, that bird, that monster, fearlessly facing it. But there's still some anxieties that are coming up, still some fears that are coming up to be cleared for that. And they're overcoming it. That's what this facing energy feels like. They're overcoming it because they're stepping into their own power. They're stepping into their own divinity. They're stepping into their own higher consciousness, which enables them to see things from a different perspective. You know, it's almost like what I'm seeing is he's just going to reach up and be like, you know, if this is a past feminine, toxic feminine energy, he's just turning around and walking away. If this is the divine feminine energy, he's just like, I'm here now. You don't have to be on your defense. You don't have to be on your guard. And I feel like that's what the divine feminine is. She's kind of on her guard. Like, are you going to come in with matching my energy? You're going to come in with more bullshit. And he's like, nope. I'm just gaining the strength and the confidence to do this. And that's when she'll soften. When she sees that he's matching her energy, that he's coming in with stability and presence, dependability, reliability, that's when she will not have her fangs out. That's when she will soften. Because she'll feel that energy from her masculine. And she wants to feel the masculine in a sense of safety and security. She wants to feel that protective energy from the masculine, that she is safe to soften within the masculine presence. So a couple of messages, so take it as it resonates. I'm going to repeat myself here. If this is a toxic feminine energy, divine masculine is clearing that, transmuting that within themselves and saying, nope, gaining the courage and the confidence to say, nope, I'm not going to engage anymore with your toxicity. That's them stepping into their power in one aspect. The second way is they're looking at their divine feminine as she's very guarded. She's like, has her fangs out. Like, do not enter my energy field unless you're coming in a higher consciousness, unless you are matching my energy. And he's saying, I'm overcoming my fears. I'm overcoming everything that I need to in order to come into you and match you where know you need to be, where I know you need me to be. And so that's when she will just kind of soften, and that's when it'll all come together. So take it as it resonates for you. A couple messages coming in. These masculines, these journeys are very, very layered. There is more than one thing happening at once, especially right now in this time and space where we are in our ascension journeys. There's more than one thing happening at once. It's healing and transmutation at the same time as unions. So if you need to, give this reading a couple of watches just to make sure that you catch everything. Okay. How are they feeling about their divine feminine as a whole? So that's how they're feeling about the connection and the journey. How are they feeling about their divine feminine? Ace of Cups. Need I say more? They're overflowing with love for their divine feminine. And that's what this feels like. She's a little bit guarded. She's a little bit like, do not come into my energy. Do not come into my life unless you are matching my energy in that higher state of consciousness with stability, presence, groundedness. And he's saying, okay. He's saying, I have so much love for you. Okay, I'm working on it. How is he feeling about the divine feminine? The Empress and the Knight of Swords. Yes, exactly. The Empress, and where did we get the Empress again? We got the Empress here as well, this card. So the Empress and the Empress. Yes, exactly. He is seeing you in your divine light. He is just overflowing with love for you. Again, that there's that inner union energy, the Two of Pentacles there, coming into balance within himself so that he can share that cup with you, so that he can share the love that's overflowing within his heart, that he's finally allowing himself to feel, again, just flooding out of him. He is wanting to share that with you. That's the feminine energy within him that is risen, has risen, and seeing you as the divine feminine and wanting to share that with you. And the Knight of Swords is just clarity and understanding and communication, wanting to come forward and express this now. There's a deep desire for communication, a wanting to express themselves for the divine masculines. They want to come forward and express this love for you. What I'm getting from this is it's almost like he wants to slay the beast within himself that was holding himself back from not communicating. Really wanting to communicate now. Okay, let's see what challenges they're facing. No, let's see. Yeah, let's see what challenges they're facing. What challenges are the divine masculines facing right now? What challenges are the divine masculines facing? This one, and I'm going to take this one as well. Goddess of nature and goddess of beauty, you reap what you sow. Your dream is coming to fruition. Goddess of beauty, you're a wondrous being of light. There is nothing to change or fix. And look what's on the bottom of the deck. Union. This is exactly what we've been channeling today. They are coming into their own. What is challenging them right now? This is what's coming. This is how they overcome the challenges and what comes after they overcome the challenges. And look at how that peace dove, that Holy Spirit energy is overseeing this. Your union is protected. Again, check out the Protecting Your Union Sacred Union Energy update. It is a beautiful and powerful reading that we did. I feel like what's challenging the connection is clearing out the karma, clearing out the past. That's what divine masculines are doing right now. And that's why you needed some separation or detachment, especially if you are experiencing that separation detachment right now. It's because it was protecting you. Your divine masculine is actually protecting the divine feminine embodied, protecting you, divine feminine, because they're going through this process, a very physical process of clearing out past karma and past cycles. And as they do this, they are recognizing that they are light. But I feel like these divine masculines are going through tower moments and dark nights of the soul. They're down on their knees. And it's only when they're surrendered and down on their knees that they're able to recognize the light within themselves. That they're able to remove the ego and just connect to their soul, connect to God, and say, I have nothing. I have nothing to offer. I have nothing to receive. I have nothing but myself, and I have nothing but my connection to God. This is them in their humility, and this is what it takes to clear that karma. This is them in their humility, recognizing the soul of themselves, the source of themselves, the light of themselves. So that's what's challenging them right now. They are being brought to their knees to, number one, clear out karma, but that karma was brought upon them because of their lack of seeing their own light, because of their lack of worth, their lack of seeing their value, their lack of connection to themselves and to God's source. They were giving fragments of themselves, piecing themselves out to everybody. They weren't recognizing the light within themselves. So that, I feel like, is what is challenging them right now. It's this shift in consciousness. It's this inner transformation that they're going through. But once they are going through that, then they're going to recognize the union within themselves. And that's how that union within connection comes about. So let's get a surrender card. We're going to start closing out here. What do they need to surrender? Oh my gosh. What do they need to surrender? What does the divine masculine need to surrender? Surrender to what is. Surrender to the present moment. Accept yourself in the present moment. And I'm also hearing accept who you were. That's part of the karma clearing. They need to just be brought to their knees energetically with a sense of humility and acceptance and forgiveness of the self. Accept who you were. Forgive yourself for who you were. Accept what is. Forgive what is, because that is what creates in the present moment. In the present moment, that is what creates your future. And there is abundance energy here. There is, again, creating your future here. You get to write your story, but you have to clear out the old in order to align to the new. And I feel like that's part of the challenge, and that's part of the healing that is happening all at once here. Again, it is multi-layered, multifaceted. It's happening all at once here. The healing the surrendering, the transmuting, and the creation is happening all at once here. Flow with it instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. And that's what that being brought to their knees is. They were in such resistance, and surrender. It's not defeat. It's not submission. Surrender is just acceptance and connecting to yourself and saying, okay, this is where I am. What am I learning from it? What do I need to clear? What do I need to heal? And how do I connect further to myself and to God, knowing that I am fully supported by God? That's what they are working through right now. Okay, let's get some guidance. Guidance for the Divine Masculines, please. Guidance for the Divine Masculines, please. Conception and universal love. The more they tap into this universal love and source energy, which is what this conception energy feels like. It feels like the birthplace of the soul is what I'm hearing, which is God's source. So the more they tap into their own God source energy within them, the more they tap in, I should say, the connection to God's source energy within them, and the more that they tap into the universal love, and the more they tap into that, the more they feel that within themselves. Let me reiterate that. Let me say that in a different way. The more they tap into their connection, their soul connection to God, the more they're tapping into the frequency of universal love. And the more they do that, the more they are clearing out the fear, the trauma, the pain patterns, all the distortions, the more they come into inner union. And the more they come into inner union, the more they come into outer union with their divine counterpart. So the guidance here is to keep tapping into the field, the frequency of love and their connection to God. I'm going to read this because I'm getting called to it. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. So this is what we've been channeling here about that level of awareness, that level of understanding and knowing yourself. The more they understand themselves, the more they connect to themselves, the more they're connecting to God, God's source, the universe. And the more they're connecting to God, the more they are connecting to universal love, which is in essence freeing them from the confines of who they thought they were, from their past, from the distortions, from their egoic self, from their identity. They're recognizing that love is all there is, ability to express that love, and the freedom to be their true authentic self. The freedom to step into their power and to have their happiness and wish fulfillment. Okay, let's get a message for the Divine Masculines. A message for the Divine Masculines, please. Love is the language of the universe. You may have forgotten the words temporarily, but look inside yourself. Your soul is tuned to the song of love. All right, guys, we'll be back with the Divine Feminine reading. Make sure that you're checking that out as well. I'm sending you all so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.